Hi, it's Beata
And Sarah.
from BA English Coaching, and welcome to our next lesson about present perfect simple, but this time using since, for, yet, already, just, and never and ever.
So, Beata, how have you been?
I've been busy, but fine, thank you. And you?
I've been well since the restrictions were lifted.
So, have you had your COVID vaccinations yet?
I've had both my vaccinations. And you?
I have just booked an appointment. And did you experience any symptoms?
No, I was lucky. I've never had any bad experiences after a vaccination.
So that's good to know. And another good thing to know is that, as you can see, this present tense is often used in conversations, in everyday conversations, and you can see how important these little words are in expressing the meaning.
Before we go any further, it's essential that you watch our last video about the present perfect simple, because without that basis, this grammar might be a bit confusing.
Exactly. So if you haven't watched it yet, can you please do it now? During the lesson, as always, I will ask you to pause the video and answer some questions. Before we start the lesson, grab a drink, pen, and your learning diary where you can make notes. Or if you have already done it, we can start.
Have you already watched the previous video? If you have, you will know what these three letters stand for, and you will understand the use of the present perfect simple. R for result, E for experience, and C for continuity.
But just a little recap. So we use present perfect simple when we talk about a finished action or event which is connected with the present in some way. We use it to look back from the present to the past. So the action is in the past but has a result now. We talk about experience in life until now, and we don't say when that happened. And the third one, we say how long present situations have lasted. So we use it to talk about something that began in the past and continues into the present, and it may continue into the future. Have a look at these three texts. Repeat after Sarah to practice pronunciation, expression, and intonation.
Okay, the first. I have been in this English class for 10 months. I enjoy it a lot and have only missed 2 classes since the beginning of the term. I especially like having the class outside, but since April we haven't been out much because the weather has been too wet. And now for the second. Hi Tim, I'm in a hurry. I haven't done the shopping yet, but I will do it on my way home. Rosie has just had her dinner and she has already had her bath. Have you called your mum yet? She has already called 3 times today. See you later. Number 3. I have never laughed so much. Did you see I'm a Celebrity Get Me Out of Here yesterday? Have you ever seen anything so funny? I love the show. It's the best show I have ever seen in my life.
Thank you, Sarah. Now we have 3 questions for you. So if you want to talk about a result, which of these little words do you use? Just, already, yet, or ever, never, or since and for. If you want to talk about an experience, which of these words do you use? And if you want to talk about continuity, which two words do you use? Pause the video and have a think. Have a look at the texts. So the correct answers. So if you want to talk about the result, you use just, already, and yet. So have a look again at the text message to Tim. If you want to talk about experience, you use ever and never. And if you want to talk about continuity, you use since and for. And we will discuss it further. So let's get started with the little words so we understand them and we can use them with confidence. So when we talk about the results, we use yet, and we use yet in questions to find out if something has happened before now. So the speaker is expecting something to happen. Examples: have you called your mum yet? Has she had her COVID jab yet? Have they arrived yet? Have you done the shopping yet? We also use yet in negative sentences, and we use it to talk about things that have not happened before now. I haven't called my mum yet. I haven't done the shopping yet. She hasn't finished yet. And as you can see, yet usually comes at the end of the clause. The second one is already. Already means at some time before now, and we use it to say that something happened sooner than expected. For example, she has already had her bath. She has already called 3 times today. I have already done it. We also use just when we are talking about the results. We use just to talk about things that have happened very recently. Just means a moment or two ago. Examples: she has just had dinner. Have you just arrived? They have just left. Note, already and just usually come between have or has and the past participle. When we talk about experience, we use ever and never. Ever means at any time in someone's life, at any time up until now. And we use ever to ask questions. Remember from last lesson, we only use present perfect simple when we talk about someone's experience but who is alive. So examples: have you ever seen anything so funny? Have you ever been to England? Has she ever played it? Okay, and all these experiences, they can still change. Never. We use never to talk about life experiences we have not had, but that can change. I have never laughed so much. She has never been to India, but they can still go to India, for example. And the last one, when we talk about continuity, we use for and since. For plus length of time. For example, for 10 minutes, for 2 weeks, for 7 years, for a long time. I have been in this class for 10 months. For how long? For 10 months. I haven't seen you for a long time. Since plus point in time. For example, since the beginning of term, since Monday, since 7 o'clock, since 2015. I've only missed 2 classes since the beginning of the term. We haven't eaten since breakfast. You may feel that this is confusing, and yes, it is. I know it took me quite some time to understand this when I started learning English. But you can pause this video, you can listen to it as often as you need to understand this and to be really confident with this. And I am sure you will get there. We've come to the end of this lesson. As always, study the units on present perfect simple from the Murphy book.
Practice a conversation like we had at the beginning of the lesson, using these little important words.
Hope you found this lesson enjoyable and valuable. Please like it and subscribe. If you haven't understood these little words yet, watch it again and again until you are confident. I know this is tricky. It is also tricky for Sarah, isn't it?
Well, I'm English, so obviously I've spoken English all my life. But from my experience, I can assure you that this tense is very much part of everyday life. So just listen to the people around you and you'll hear it all the time.
You can always join our Facebook group for further practice and motivation. And just remember, don't be the same, be awesome.